Welcome back to the Pro Football Pod. You've got Coach Austin Hulk here to give you the laud. Did not have a word off the top of my head to rhyme with pod, but here we are. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell whenever we go live for you. What's up, everybody? You've got the boys in here. How's it going, fellas? You ready to dive into some wide receivers?
This was the easiest one, bro. Like,
This
of
was my
all of them,
favorite one
I
because there
loved
was
it.
so many to rank.
So
Yes,
many.
sir.
I could have gone 15 deep easily.
Yes. I love this wide receiver class. I think we're going to see 10 in the first round. Like, I legitimately think that there's going to be a run on wide receivers. We're 10 in
There
the
should
first
be
round.
I
10 in the
think
first 10
6
picks.
for sure. 7 wouldn't shock me. Anything over 7 to me would be kind of surprising if they just
If-
start flying off the board. With the amount of offensive linemen that are needed throughout the league and that are available, I would be shocked with 10 wide receivers. But then again, one of the deepest groups in the draft, but I think that's why it pushes it down a little bit.
Listen, I'm wearing their jersey. If the NFL is smart, all the other teams besides this team will band together and just draft every single receiver.
There you
Because that's
go.
all this team
Good.
is.
31 wide receivers
Good
go,
point.
and then
Boom.
they start. What if? What? Okay, I know we're getting off track here, but my galaxy brain just went off like nuts right there. What if all 31 other owners colluded to only draft wide receivers picks 1 through 31,
And Brock
Like I
Bowers.
said.
and then they were like,
That's
"All
what I
right,
just said.
we'll start the draft." In the second round, and then we can take Caleb Williams and all that. Like, obviously,
just said.
can't happen because it would mess up fifth year options, the whole pay scale. You'd be paying Roma Dunze what you should be
But-
paying Caleb Williams. Like, got it. But that would be insane just to completely stick it to one team.
Yeah.
If they didn't do that for the Patriots and Tom Brady, they're not doing that for the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes. So there's that. But man, you just made my brain absolutely explode. So let's go ahead, dive on into it. Austin, who do you have at your number 5 spot?
Gonna be Coleman out of FSU.
Same, actually.
Keon Coleman. Same for
I
you
also
at number
I also
5?
have him at 5. It was difficult. Donnie Mitchell, Troy Franklin, like these guys were right there. I just felt like the speed wasn't the factor that had me the most sold. Keon Coleman's catch radius, his contested catch percentage, just his ability to effortlessly grab the ball whenever it's near him is unlike everybody else on this list besides maybe like Roma Dunze. I think he's the only other one that has like that aspect to him so well, and he just didn't have the speed and like those types of things to put him higher on my list.
I feel like
My
it's not
number
fair to
5
just do 5.
is Lad McConkey.
White boy.
Oh, boy.
I'd like
I
to hear
loved
this.
his game. Now he came out and showed the athleticism in the combine to put the whole he's just a lunch pail guy, first in, last out. You know all the typical monikers. Like no, the guy went out there and ran a sub 4.40. Like he's got the wheels, he's got the route running, he's got the hands. Like this dude's going to be a PPR monster in the league, and I think if we go back through our videos, I have probably mentioned Lad McConkey as much as I've mentioned Malik Neighbors. I just love his game. For me, Keon Coleman,
his
like I said,
name.
I went deep in my list. He came in at number 8 for me. We're not going to go too far into that, but I
What?
also
No,
had
we might
AD
need to.
Mitchell at number 6. I have him behind Lad because of the route running ability that Lad gives you. And watching through film, there's a lot of times where AD seems to take some plays off. And I don't know if that's because he knows he's not the number 1 target in the route tree for that play, or if he's just overall frustrated, things like that. He's absolutely got the ability. I just, busting out my top 5 here. He came in at number 6. I've got the guy Lad, white boy wonder for Georgia.
Okay, then.
I feel
That's
like
a big surprise.
I feel like this was going to
Especially
be
with the talent we have.
the second most controversial pick that I made. I understand the athleticism being a little bit off with his 40 time and like, but his height, his speed, his comp to Mike Evans, but his ability to run more routes and like have more impact. I think is all there. I think that with Mike Evans' career that he had, Keon Coleman is going to be a much, much better receiver immediately. The
And
impact
that's
he's
my
going to have.
thing is with Keon is you hope you're getting Mike Evans and not Devontae Parker, who
I
has been last in the league for 4 years straight in separation metrics.
Yeah.
Like, yes, great contested catchers, but we see guys like that slowly fade out of the league. So I love Keon's game. For me, though, I just see a lot of guys that are above him. So, Coach, who you got at number 4?
Brian Thomas Jr., LSU. I think that I really went back and forth for my number 3 guy and Brian Thomas. The reason that I put Brian Thomas here is that he had Malik Neighbors. Like, comparatively to Malik Neighbors, you can see all of like the aspects of his game that he missed out on. I think that he's a super athlete. I think that he's going to be a phenomenal selection. The other 3 guys just had a couple of parts of their game that had me a little bit more excited than Brian Thomas.
That too, I had at number 4 as well. Austin, who'd you have?
I have Xavier Worthy, and he's
Ooh, the
worthy of
40
this
sold you on
spot.
him, huh?
Wow.
Yes, sir. And not just the 40, it's actually the tape too. You got to go back and watch it. This man is open on every route he runs, and whenever he gets the ball, he's gone. You're not catching him. He
Mhm.
pushes off people. He knows how to use his body to his favor.
Oh, I
So,
think he goes first round for sure. I think
He
his
has to.
40 solidified him as somebody that will not fall to the second.
hmm
I
yeah, I mean, it's
honestly
elite speed.
I think that he could be the 3rd or 4th receiver off the board as well. I think that just like his speed alone being so much better, and it's not just the track speed, his game speed is equally as impressive. He is always behind the safety. He's able to make those wheel route type plays. My one thing for him is that sometimes he's moving so quick that it takes him a little bit. Like he's got a very deep bend to kind of come back to the ball, but that's not that big of a knock. I just felt like the top 5 receivers, I want more of that possession guy, that dude that'll go up and get the ball. And I think everybody on my list has that ability. Malik Neighbors is going to win with his speed more than anything. It's hard to do that in the NFL. There's a lot of speed in the NFL.
Yeah, and Xavier Worthy, he is a, smaller statured guy, so I do understand the concerns there, but can't teach speed. So you can kind of teach route running, you can help with vision and, help them see what they need to on the field. So I get you there putting him at number 4. Like I said, I've got Brian Thomas pretty much for everything that you said as well. His speed, his athleticism, his size, to me, if this was a draft without Roma Doomsday, Malik Neighbors, or Marvin Harrison Jr., he'd absolutely would be one of the top guys. He'd be a top 5 pick in the draft. So he's going to be a star in the NFL. But number 3 for me, I've got Malik Neighbors.
Yep.
And the reason I have him at number 3 is because, we'll get into the guys I have above him, but I love his game. He's one of the more like the Jamar Chase style, the all around great guy. There's just some things in his game to where you're kind of wanting more of body size. And I don't want to say, he can't go up and make the contested catches, but the 2 guys I have in front of him, which at this point are Roma Doomsday and Marvin Harrison Jr., not saying the order yet, they're bigger body guys who have that athleticism and are able to make more contested catches. To me, their route tree opens up more. So in the right system, Malik Neighbors will be a great wide receiver. I just feel like the other 2 guys who I have above him are more system proof, if that makes sense. So
What
who do
about
you guys have at number
what
3?
about you, Austin?
It's really tough with these last 3. I mean, we have them all almost the same. Ah,
If you,
I
after putting Caleb Williams at number 3, go back and check out the quarterback episode to see why. If you have Marvin Harrison Jr. here at number 3, I might throw something.
no, I don't.
Okay.
I have a Dunze.
Okay.
And it, it's really just 1A, 1B, 1C with these freaking guys. Like it's so tough. It's just the height that Harrison has and then his name
Yes.
that carries him. But yeah, you got Odunze. And then Neighbors.
Neighbors at
So
2.
Yeah.
I also have Roma Dunze at 3.
Hmm.
6'3", 212, 4'4", 540. I think that he can run every route on the tree. I think that his separation is good. I just think that for me, what the other two guys are able to do, they're able to do just a little bit better in certain scenarios. This guy had, 3 total receivers on the field that are all going to go in the first 2 days of the draft, and I think that that hurt my view on him a little bit. That I just viewed him as he always had the space to work. He didn't have to make the space himself. Now I've said on past videos that this guy could be the next Devonte Adams. That's my comp for him. I think that he doesn't need to have the most elite speed. He doesn't need to have the ability to jump 25 feet in the air to be able to make catches, but he is very, very solid at all of them. His hands are also very, very good. I just think that for me, the other two receivers are a little bit better. Now, my number 2 is a little bit of a probably different from you guys. I have
Oh,
Marvin
he did
Harrison
it.
Jr.
He
at
did
number
it.
2. I think that Marvin Harrison Jr. is not as good at Malik Neighbors because of two. Well, he's better than Malik Neighbors at only two things: his lineage and his height. Without those two aspects, I think that everybody agrees that Malik Neighbors is a better all around receiver in his ability to make cuts, his athletic ability, his down the field speed, his
The
ability to
Yak.
catch a ball on all three levels. He's going to be a complete terror on third downs. And I think that Marvin Harrison's phenomenal. I'm not trying to say anything against him, but I think the reason everybody's dick riding him so hard is because he's taller and because he comes from a Hall of Famer. If it wasn't for those two things, I don't think that they would be as high on him.
I got you there. My one thing to where, kind of, and I understand every argument you're making there, and I do agree on those points. However, my thing with Marvin Harrison Jr. is if he would have been able to come out last year as a true sophomore, he would have been the number one wide receiver taken last year. So for me, like when you're going back and you're comparing them to these guys like Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, like these wide receiver Puka Nakua, which that he's an outlier. He was like a 5th round pick. So, but these guys that went super early in the first round, well, I guess in the 20s, he would have gone top 10 last year in that draft.
Yeah.
Far and
That's for
above
true.
would have been the number one wide receiver taken. So for me,
I
that
also
it was one
I
of
also
those
think
to where
these
don't
receivers would have
change
too
on
though.
it now. Like if he would have been number one last year, he's far and away the number one guy this year. He just has more experience under his belt now.
I
So
think
like
same can be
that's
said
what
for these other
solidified him for
receivers
me.
though. These top 3 receivers, I feel like, would have been the top 3 receivers coming out of the draft last year.
I agree. I agree completely,
I
Austin.
I, I do agree there.
Like, if you
I got you
compare them
there.
to the receivers last year, if we want to just like
Because
comp
number
them,
1
like
last year was
out of all the guys you
JSN or
just
was it
named,
Zay?
none of them are better than these top
I
3.
believe Zay was the number one wide receiver taken, wasn't
And
it?
then it was
Wasn't he?
JSN,
Without
and then it
having it
JSN.
was
pulled up here.
I
It
think it
was
I
was
know
Zay.
JSN.
Jordan Addison went.
It was
They
Jason.
Yeah.
all went right there. Jordan Addison, JSN, Zay Flowers, Quentin Johnson. They all went like right there in the same spot.
So
So yeah, I agree. I think Rome. I don't know about Rome. I think this season helped him a lot as far as development, playing with Penix for another year, getting more experience there. He is a senior. He's a true senior, so he is the more veteran of the receivers in this draft, which to me is why I've got him over Malik Neighbors. For me, is just the experience and what he's able to pull.
I like that.
So, but I was gonna say I thought we were all in consensus again on a number one guy, but it looks like Me and Austin are
He'll come
sticking with
around.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Coach, you're
He'll come
going
around.
Malik Neighbors, which,
I mean,
like I
come
said,
on, man.
I love
I
the
got I
argument.
got Michigan on, man, and we still out here repping the OH.
Don't you say it. Don't you say I don't need Michigan fans coming after you. They're gonna
OH.
want you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Hey, we
Oh,
appreciate everybody stopping by for you today. Tulsi Rose Tea is the sponsor. Go to tulsirosetea.com for all those needs. Hit the little bell for the notifications. Like, comment, subscribe. 500 subscribers. We'll do a raffle for a free jersey of your choice. Love you guys. Peace.